Hey everyone, I just want to make a couple of follow-on points to my video, Forced Conversion Doesn't Work. Someone called Unknown to You All was just saying that my argument was not very good, essentially. And what they were doing was pointing out that in several different places in the world, particularly they were talking about Egypt and like Arab nations, if I recall. So if I'm a bit fuzzy, sorry about that, but I'm actually home with I've been ordered to stay home from work by the doctor because I had a cold that turned into an ear infection, so I'm a bit, I'm just going on what sense my brain is making out of the whole thing. So essentially, I agree, on paper it does look like forced conversion does work, but like I said in some of my comments on that video, you can't, if you're dealing in a society where there are considerable social or even legal pressures. In some societies, religion is written into law, and you can actually be punished for not being of the dominant religion. And then also, there's the social pressures. So if you abandon the popular religion, you'll be disowned by your family, denied occupation, all those kinds of things. You're not going to be able to see how people actually feel. And you're right, a lot of the time people aren't connected to the religion of their ancestors, and that's because, any books were burnt or oral traditions were stopped, made illegal, things like that. But if you look at the way things have happened in the West, where the social and legal pressures concerning religion have been relaxed, people have left the church in droves, and it's a considerable problem for the various churches. The only real churches that are doing well are the ones where they turn the whole thing into a social event. So like the youth churches where they have music and parties and things like that. And in a lot of cases, they're just using the entertainment to get people in the door, and then they get at people's minds once they've got them, in their domain or whatever. And the reason that works is because there's nothing out there for kids to do. And likewise, there are similar. The same places often have events for older people too. And there are a lot of isolated people, at least in Australia, I know this is the case. There are a lot of people who have no real sort of connections to friends or family, So it's very, the idea of being able to go somewhere and have people to hang out with and have something to do a couple of nights or days a week is very inviting. And then I guess they associate that good feeling with the religion, and then they think, that because they've been saved from what was a horrible, lonely life through this religious group, they attribute that as well to the religion. Now, I don't doubt that many of those actually, embrace the religion or came from other churches and fully believe in it, but I do think that the social and entertainment draw cards are a huge part of the success of those churches. And a lot of people, say, like, so on paper they're Christian or whatever, but when you talk to them, it's sort of like it's a tradition thing. They don't really think about it. Or when you talk to them about what their beliefs are, they're not coming out of like a biblical kind of context, so like, or any sort of real specific definition of what Christianity is. I remember my ex had to fill out the census, and where it said religion, he was really confused. And he said, "Oh, what should I put down for religion?" And I said, "Well, you're not religious," because he wasn't. He was not religious. And he goes, "Oh no, I should put down Christian." I said, "On the basis of what?" And he goes, "Oh, well, I think my family's connected with the church. I think I was christened, so that makes me Christian." And I thought, well, to me, that is not my definition of a commitment to a religious path. A commitment to a religious path is something that, you're passionate about. It's not like you're christened and then you have a stamp put on you and then you're like, property of the Christian church. Later on that week, we went somewhere with his parents, and the subject came up about what he was going to put on the census, or what he had. I can't remember if he'd already written it down, as to his religion. And his mother said, "Well, we're Christian." And I said, "Are you?" And she said, "Yes." I said, "What, so you believe Jesus Christ is your Lord and Saviour and the Son of God, and that he died and was resurrected?" And she goes, "No, all you need to do to be Christian is to follow the 10 Commandments." But the thing is that the 10 Commandments predate Christianity. If all you believe in is the 10 Commandments, then the closest thing that makes you is a Jew. So, yeah. So I think that sort of traditional sort of thing of like, well, our family has historically been connected with the Christian church, so therefore we're Christian, or that sort of sense of agnosticism of, I believe maybe there's something but I don't know what it is, therefore I'm Christian. I think that is very, very prevalent, and to me that doesn't constitute what I meant by forced conversion working. If forced conversion worked, then people would continue, as family lines went down, down the family line, people would continue to passionately believe in that religion, to be devoted to it, more than just a feeling that they'd been stamped, I think in a lot of cases that's probably the case in Islamic countries. I know that in Islamic countries people think that being an Arab and being Muslim are synonymous, that they are the same thing, and that Arabs are sort of by nature Islamic. But that's not the case. I mean, Islam has only existed since was it the 7th century? Yeah. And prior to that, they belonged to a bunch of different polytheistic pagan religions. And there are still people in the Middle East and who still follow those paths, albeit in secrecy or in small pockets. So anyway, that's what I meant. I meant, see, for me, my definition of spirituality, of being spiritual, is being, it's a life altering experience. It's more than just tradition. It's something that you feel deep in your bones, and it's also cultural factors too, Anyhow, I hope that made sense. I'm sorry if it didn't. Thanks for watching, and blessed be.